only, as that qualifies you to be a part of the regular draws happening today, or you use the USSD code *347 *880 *6 hash. Now we'll go on a break.
Nigeria Info will be right back.
All right, and when we come back, Sunnyside continues. Stay tuned.
Everyone.
I know. One plate, that's the number one, then PLAY.N and the letter G. It's very easy. You go there, select Nigeria Info 92.3 PH and buy as many tickets as possible. Or you do not have access to the internet, then feel free to use the USSD code *347 *880 *6 hash. I wonder who my winners for today would be. Anyway, let's talk a job probation period. I know someone who does not stay for more than 3 months at a particular place of work. And I never got to understand why. Compared to people who have been at a business place for a very long time. The people that will most likely qualify for a long service award. You know that person that you met when you first got employed at your organization. And you heard that that person has been there since inception of the company, or that person has been there for 5 years before you came, or 10 years before you came, or 15 years before you came, or even 20 years before you came. And you wondered why they stayed that long. Somebody would say it's basically loyalty, or not having anywhere else to go, or sticking with the whole the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. So before I resign now, I say I'm going to look for another job. What if? So many what ifs. When you start a job in Nigeria, for some companies, you are in your probation period. And what is that probation period really? It's referred to as an agreed upon review period for an employee to demonstrate to his or her employer their value on the job they have been employed to do, as well as a period for the employer to comprehend business policies, rules, and obligations for the specific organization. Now, you may want to wonder, how long is this probation period? For some organizations, it varies. Within 3 months of the employee beginning employment, which can be compared to a probationary period, the employer is required under Section 7 of the Labor Law to present the employee with a written statement of particulars of documents. So, that probationary term may last anywhere from 3 to 6 months, depending on the staff level in Nigeria. Nevertheless, depending on policies surrounding some organizations, they may extend a worker's probation to a term of 1 year. What are they expected to do? They aim to help understand your abilities, your work ethics, your attitudes, your career goals throughout that probationary phase. More importantly, verifying your promises. You know how you say, I can work under pressure, I can do this and do that. All those promises you made during the interview, they need to verify, and then they can provide the anticipated outcomes. The employee can use this time to also learn about the organization's culture, standards, rules, and work interests. Additionally, the employee is required to complete all tasks given to him or her during this time with attention. And then the company will, of course, review performance. And during that period, the good thing is you can easily quit your job. Your notice period is 1 day if you have not worked more than 3 months. You have 1 week if you've worked more than 3 months. Why are we having this conversation? You may wonder. The majority of Nigerians, like you and I, are curious to know why most businesses offer probationary periods to new hires and may already be aware of the reasons for this necessity. The probationary term, as it is, how applicable is it in some organizations? As at today, as at 2025, do we just have people hiring at random and firing at random without giving them the benefit of learning on the job, learning so many things, without giving them the chance to make mistakes and get corrected until they aim or get to their near perfect stage? Does the probation period indeed guarantee long-term loyalty and productivity of the employee? Because in the end, you want to be sure that this employee is for you as the company and not against you. And then you also want to be sure that this employee is not just the loyal type, but the one who would be indeed productive. Because sometimes it becomes difficult for some employers to know exactly what they want from their employees. Is it loyalty? Is it productivity? Do you want an employee that is productive, but at the same time can sell the company out to the highest bidder? Or one who is productive and becomes too proud as a result of their productivity, so much so that you have to buy their loyalty so that someone else will not come and poach them? Let's talk. 0817-923-0002. Again, 0817-923-0002. We also have 0817-923-0003. Again, 0817-923-0003. Now, WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809-030-6416. Again, WhatsApp and Telegram number 0809-030-6416. On X, we're at Nigeria Info page, and our Facebook page remains Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Remember, a call screener is in standby to take your calls first before passing you on to me in the studio. So when you do call, the first voice you would hear will not be my voice, but that of the call screener. Do well to tell them your name, your location, and in no distant time, you'll be connected with me in the studio. While we wait for the calls to be screened, you can watch us live from anywhere in the world. You can also listen to us via our mobile app. If you're not within Port Harcourt, listen to Nigeria Info anywhere in the world. The Nigeria Info app is up for downloads at your mobile store, at your app store. Zion from Jerry. Hi, Zion. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon to you, D-Square.
Good afternoon to you, Zion.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I think the word probation for Nigeria has been abused.
Really? Tell me how.
If not only for the federal agencies and parastatals who are to a large extent using it as a process to understand and process the process period of the staff for it to become truly registered and recognized. In our today corporate world from the private sector, we have seen organizations who have applied this issue of probation as a portion period. They will allow this staff to work until when it is time to induct them into the system. They will bring one complaint because of that you are not fit to go home. Or they will now reduce your salary because of this will reduce. That is portion, which some part of Africans are fighting against their wildlife. We applied it here in our private sector. In some regions, these staff are not even paid for that period. Benefits and rights are not given for that period. And you want to use this condition to determine efficiency of a staff to be an employee, no man. It cannot work. Look at this present day reality. The organization is somewhere at Rumusi, and this employee is somewhere at Rumola. How can he be coming on daily basis to meet up time, transportation and everything? From where? Sometimes they will not have the money at that particular day. They want to source for that transport early in the morning. And you use that prerogative to determine, oh, you are good enough, come and work for us. Let's be honest to ourselves. The economic reality today, private organizations, a lot of them, I will not say all, a lot of them are just pushing on staff in the name of what? Probation. But they thumbs up to some organizations who still hold up to the tenets of probation to meet up the real realities and demands of the staff. But let's look at it carefully. How many of these staff who have gone through this process of probation, the organization did a fact-finding about you? They fact-checked your questions and answers you provided. They came to your street, they went to your church, they went to your community. That is the process of probation. And also check your strength to work. How efficient are you? Can you service us? Can you give us what we want? These are the processes. How many organizations can come out with a record? Please, this way. I want somebody should put me right. All the people that have gone through probation, please, somebody should call in that at the end of your probation, that organization gave you a certificate that yes,
a probation certificate. Well, you know you passed your probation when you still have your job, when you are still there. I mean, for most of the organizations I have worked with, I had to go through a probation period. They had to watch. Sometimes you get in there and you are not assigned to some heavy, there are some things that they put there that they say, this one is for the professionals. This one is for people that have been working with us for this long. You will have to pass this hurdle before. Sometimes they even keep you in a team and they put someone in charge of you that will report back to management stating your progress level, how well you're performing. Maybe because we're using it in the workspace, it's too big a word. Imagine a guy is toasting a girl with so many promises. I had to chip that in, forgive me. With so many promises. And the girl says yes, but then again, you are on probation For the first 2-3 months, I will have to watch you to see if you are indeed boyfriend material. If after 3 months, okay, then we can now officially proclaim to whoever cares to know that we are officially dating. So for that period where they're getting them to know themselves, everything is hush hush. They're not telling anybody. They will not say they've seen a fine boy yet. They will not say they've seen a fine girl yet. It's the same thing with getting a job, a new job. Funny enough, some organizations will even add probation for people that are getting to a higher level. In fact, it's so funny that they've seen you perform at a lower level. You are due for a promotion, but even upon being promoted, you are under probation to be sure that you can handle your current position. If you can, oh well, fine and good. If you're not, it's possible for you to get a demotion. So when you see people work at several places in a year, you begin to wonder, is it because they were not competent enough? If staff members can be subject to probation, how about the staff members also subject the organization to probation as well, to be sure that they, expecting that from me, can also provide or keep to their end of the bargain, which would include regular payment of salaries, provision of all that is required for you to get the job done. How about that? Or is it only staff members, employees rather, that are supposed to be subject to the probation period? Again, I ask, does the probation period indeed guarantee long-term loyalty and productivity of employees? Or are there organizations that still practice the habit of putting employees under probation? Again, 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. Once again, 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp and Telegram number remains 0809 030 6416. Again, Facebook page Nigeria Info 92.3 PH, and on X we are at Nigeria Info PH. Permit me to read through some messages that we have on Facebook. Okay. Don't know what's happening with the phone lines now, but I'm sure they'll fix themselves. Young Good Fruit David on Facebook says, probation period are for dumb systems. A smart system recognize threats within a short term due to their experiences. Christian says, probation is based on performance, how serious one carries his or her duties in an organization. But there's no perfection. Everyone makes mistakes and learn. But when one fails to learn from their mistakes, then they wouldn't be qualified. If Nigerians can employ people based on connection, then I don't think probation is needed. In all, no matter what, do your best. Justice Chibike Olekama says, it does not. People can pretend for 5 years. Why should I bother pretending for 5 years when I can actually do the job and do it to my what's it called now? To my benefit. If I'm pretending before my bosses, what does that tell about me really? At the end of the day, am I not drawing myself backwards? So I think there's a problem with the phone lines. We'll get it sorted out soon and very soon. But in the meantime, how about you send us a WhatsApp message? I'll be glad to read your WhatsApp messages. Or Facebook or X. Does the probation period indeed guarantee long-term loyalty and productivity? And yes, under that question I asked, what is more important to organizations really? Having a productive staff or having a loyal staff? Some organizations would classify their staff members as their biggest, what's the word I'm looking for now? Investment. They would not mind spending so much getting the kind of staff members that they desire, or getting the kind of employees that they desire. Now, if they're willing to go all out to get quality staff members or quality employees, how do they ensure that if they're not subjecting these people to probation beyond your paper qualification?
I think some companies are just taking advantage of the rate of unemployment in the system. They are talking now during that country, the rate of unemployment in the system. They are talking now during that country. It's very appealing, they need to learn the world. It's very appealing, they need to learn the world. I want to connect you. That's happening. You know, just listen. No. So after that, and when you get fired.
Now, I don't know about other organizations. You're paying your full salary. When it's probation period, you're getting paid your. Now, why it's on probation? It's so consciousness is on you. The application area. People are very qualified on paper, but when it comes to performance, say if like person. Well, and let me also say something. An interview is not enough yardstick to gauge performance, really. In an interview setting, you're basically answering questions.
How long should be the probation period? Are we considering that?
It's between 3 months. Hold on, Miriam.
Let the person learn this job.
It's between 3 months to 6 months, depending on the organization. I think Miriam is distracted. I think you're distracted. I can hear voices at the background.
I can hear you.
I said the probation period in some organizations is between 3 months. Why would you even be scared of being fired too soon? That's another question. Do you actually like you?
Nigeria, where anything comes, something you make anyone try to look and bring somebody. Why you even me?
All right. Thank you, Miriam.
Also, let's say, I keep on this you know that all organizations operating in this country, they are just taking a lead from what's happening from the government. My dear, do you know that establishment offer employment to an applicant? Do you know that applicant will be on this thing they call casual? Casual for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, even from 10 to 11 years. Now, tell me what will become the fate of that individual. So now, the organization, now these private companies and all that, are now taking advantage of this as kings. Now they are, because a government employee on that probation or casual status, the salary is nothing to write home about. Now, the companies that is in the country now, when they employ, their salary is more higher than that of the government probation staff or casual staff. So they see themselves as alpha and omega. So these are the problems. The problem is the country, the government should be able to do the needful, so that all these people will now follow that exemplary setup by the government.
All right, thank you very much, Chuma. Can an employee quit after the probation period? The answer is yes. You, the employee. So it may not be the employer saying you're not good enough. You can consider yourself or consider the organization not good enough for the kind of service you want to offer. At the end of the probationary period, the employee can decide whether to stay with the company or leave for various reasons. The reasons could be that the work culture is undesirable or falls short of what he or she had expected upon applying for the job role. If you and your company agree to continue the employment agreement after your probation period, your company can no longer fire you so easily. It's also not easy for you to quit your job. Most employment contracts, that is if some companies even give their employees employment contracts. Sometimes you don't even like to put things down in pen and paper, so you, the employee, will not have something to hold on to. But then, sometimes when it's put in pen and paper, they can always refer to it so that they get you to do that which they want you to do. It's so funny. Anyway, moving on. Most employment contracts usually provide 3 months duration of notice by giving either party. So if your employer fires you, they must give you a 3 months notice as well. If you decide to quit your job, you must also give your employer 3 months notice. That is why you should be checking your contracts and your contract's termination terms to avoid surprises. Now, what really happens during this time? The employer conducts evaluations after the probation period to assess the employee's performance and determines whether the employer believes the employee is unfit for the position. This also determines if the employee will remain in the company or not be kept or confirmed for a permanent position. The employee will be paid the wage given to him or her for the time spent during the probation term, regardless of the conclusion of the probation. However, if the individual's performance is extraordinary, such a person will be confirmed for the position. Now, there are lots of pointers that can help an employee on probation complete the probationary term effectively with results. Things like punctuality. I mean, if you have a staff that is going to keep coming late, you may want to rethink, ask yourself if this person to still remain here. More about this after the break. Stay tuned.
For more talk, news and